I'm SupaWaluigi, and welcome back to the Nintendo World theme park in Rollercoaster Tycoon 3. We are still building Luigi's Mansion at the moment. It's been a while since the last part, I know, but this has actually been sitting fully edited. Just needed to do the commentary for a long time now, and I felt today of all days, which is a Thursday, was the best day to do it. So yes, we are just finishing off Luigi's Mansion. We're doing a little bit of the interiors and mainly the walls. As you can see, it's got no roof and it's still a bit bare. But obviously, I'm not going to make you watch all of the wall building and all of the floor bit. I'm not going to make you watch all of the boring bits. Basically, we're just going to try and speed on through. We also do a little bit of the, well, I say a little bit, we do quite a lot of the outside as well, because that's part of the aesthetic. So we're just in the inside here now, doing a little bit of planning for some of the interiors. This will change quite drastically in the next part, which is also edited and should be coming your way pretty soon. We're just designating different areas inside the mansion. And now we are doing the front porch area. This is, you can memorize this from the game itself. This actually it's quite a bit off topic at the moment, but having left this park for so long, or coming back to the Nintendo World Park for a little bit, obviously I haven't had time to do much in it, finishing off a uni and all, and also it's also running quite slowly now. The theme park is filling up, and obviously at 500% speed, you can't really tell how laggy this is getting. So I think we are reaching closer and closer to the mid-season point, shall I say, where I might have to stop building for a while until I get some better technology that can run it a bit better. But try not to think about that, because hopefully that won't be for a long time. So we're just roofing that little porch area. You can see some of the roof pieces that are going to be used later on for the entire roof. And we're just fixing it up a little bit more here. I do realise by the end of this part that the whole building doesn't have any windows in it just yet, but I think I did that off screen. So you'll see that in the next part, as will you see how much more stuff we fit into this Luigi's Mansion area. So yeah, who knew that the original Luigi's Mansion was going to come to Nintendo 3DS in the end? I certainly didn't, but I welcome it, and hopefully it's going to be good. It comes out around, I think it comes out in October, so that's good timing to be released. Hoping it's not full price, like 40 or whatever, because it is a re-release that's coming out at an odd time when the 3DS is also kind of dying down now, really. I don't think it's going to be running for much longer into, well, maybe halfway into 2019. I don't know. What big games have come out for it recently? No, can't think of anything either. Although there was that Samus Returns 3DS game that I'm yet to pick up. Apparently that was very good, and it worked very well on 3DS. And they spent, I guess they did a lot of work on it. Interesting. But the Nintendo Switch is taking over now. It's running away with it. I can't see the 3DS getting much more support for much longer into 2019. So yes, you can see this is the roof now, and that this flat section in the middle is kind of meant to replicate the final level of the first game of Luigi's Mansion, where Luigi fights that giant Bowser spirit that King Boo has conjured up, and saves Mario in the end. So there you go. That is the shell. That is the whole exterior of the mansion done. Now we are just kind of building up the front garden area with all the spooky trees. And we'll put a little cover over the station area as well. Trying to make this as creepy as possible, because obviously Luigi was scared of the mansion, and it is also kind of to replicate that first little cutscene where he opens up the map to see that he's won a mansion, and he walks through the forest all the way up there, and you can see that we're also getting in quite a few different types of shrubbery here. We've got the small bushes and the big trees and all that, and we've got like this cliff, or it looks more like a hillside at the moment, but I do turn that into a cliff a little bit later on for the path, the queue entrance to the ride to go over. And whilst it looks bare down on the main path by the Bowser's Castle entrance area, I do fill that up with basically a huge forest in the next episode. But there is space there to put in the transport links around the park eventually. I think it is almost time to start doing that because we have got quite a large area, and people just need to move around a bit more. Also, we could start doing the Mario Kart track very soon, since we've finished Bowser's area. We've pretty much finished Mushroom Kingdom, the Delfino Plaza area. I think there is still a gap just to put something else in there, but I'm not sure what yet. In my notes, I have put a Mario Galaxy roller coaster dark ride kind of thing, similar to Space Mountain. But I know that's going to take up a huge amount of room, and it's not going to look very good on the outside, especially when there's not going to be enough room to put stuff on the inside to make it seem like it's a Mario Galaxy ride. So I'll have to think my way around that. But with the Mario Kart ride, we are going to go through the Mushroom Kingdom area, the Bowser's Castle area, Luigi's Mansion area, and kind of come back briefly through Delfino Plaza to the end of the go-kart track. So that's going to be like a 3-stage race almost from the new games like Mario Kart 8 and 7. So that'll be a fun long track to make. How I'm going to theme that, I have no idea. Anyway, back to Luigi's Mansion. We're just building a little station housing for the station. Kind of meant to be like Egad's shack that Luigi visits to get upgrades and to talk to Professor Egad. It's also it's kind of like a hybrid really, because it also looks like a stable, I think. I mean, I am using like the Wild West Ranch item pieces, but scenery pieces. But yeah, it could be a shed. It could be a stable. It fits in. I think it fits in. I don't like that flat roof. I might change that flat roof, but I can't make it too tall because then it'll look silly. Right, now we are putting in the queue path, and our old friend Terrain Editing has reared his ugly head again. So we've got to work around that, and then we're just moving around with the path, trying to make like a rocky, stony path across the hillside, which is going to be turned into a cliff. Again, kind of to replicate that ricketiness, that spooky ricketiness, kind of also like the in the second game what was it called? Luigi's Mansion Dark of the Moon. Luigi's Mansion 2. Shall we just call it that? In the final mansion, where the build-up is like across a huge bridge that's collapsing and falling apart. We've got a little bit more terrain editing to go here, because it is bloody annoying. Why? It just amount of times I mention terrain, it's becoming a meme, I swear. The amount of times I mention terrain editing in these videos is just ridiculous. It just doesn't work. I think we've realised across the whole series so far of SupaConstruction that this whole park has been lowered or raised by half a tile almost somehow. So everything is floating when it's flat ground. I don't get it. It's just I'm dumbfounded. We're just colouring in the track now and the carts. We've got like this spooky slime green and a dirty brown kind of. It's kind of a bit boring as a colour scheme, but then the carts themselves are kind of meant to be like the poltergust, the red Hoover that sucks up the ghosts that you're sitting in, even though they're clearly Rollercoaster Tycoon 3 is kind of showing them as like spooky cart things with big eyes, but I just made the eyes green, kind of look like lights. And I don't know if I changed the lights on the carts themselves. I don't like that pink. Huh. Yeah, I might have to change that. But we're also just testing the ride right now. And to add that extra spooky factor and laggy factor for when I actually do these videos, I'm adding in a lot of mist or fog dispensers just to make it extra spooky. Yeah, and it's a nice effect. I do like the effects that Rollercoaster Tycoon 3 added from the last Rollercoaster games. Although, obviously, full 3D is a big thing, but there we go. We're just heading inside just to light up the place and also find a nice little scenery piece for that main entrance. I did think a fountain would work, so we are going to use a scenery piece that we've used before, that little frog fountain, and then we are also going to add in some lighting, because obviously the ride gets quite dark at night, and the only lights come off the carts themselves, so I do want to light up the inside, kind of make it look like it's a proper mansion almost. And then in the next part, we will properly add extra scenery to each room and stuff like that. So yeah, there's the mansion finished. We'll put windows in the next part as well. That I've done that off screen, but yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.